Hi, I'm Jim Meador.
And I'm James Meador.
I heard a little bit of story about what got me here and how things have gone. I've been through some different things in my life. James had been went down some wrong roads, had some bad situations happen, and he ended up being incarcerated. So I went and seen him for a while to begin with, and told him that, if you don't change, this is where you're going to be. And well, being the way kids are, he didn't change. So he ended up going to prison, and I'm sure he spent his horrors and extreme lows there. I only went and seen him once while he was in there, just because I was trying to do the tough love thing. And then said that while he was in jail, I'd sent him a Bible. I figured, maybe this will help him. While he was in penitentiary, he said that he had found the Lord. And I thought, well, I hope it's not jail type religion, and that it's for real. When he finally got out, I'd seen that what he did was real. He did find the Lord, and you could tell in every action and form that he had that he was. I still wasn't. I was just saying, that's fine, you got your religion, just don't preach it to me. Then I had a horrible line of tragedies happen in my life. And 2016 is when this started. I had heart attack, 2 strokes. I had 2 back surgeries. And then in 2020 I had lung cancer and had my right lower lobe removed. Fortunately, the cancer was caught very early, and there's been no traces since. But after that, my bonus granddaughter was addicted to opioids, and she OD'd, and she died in front of her 1-year-old child, he was there for several hours, and it was quite traumatic. Less than a year later, my wife passed away from addiction to alcohol. It was less than 4 months later, the boy that she raised from 9 died from alcohol addiction. And I just was through with everything in life. I just, what am I going to do? I said, I got to change something. So I decided, I called James one Sunday and asked him, before Sunday, I called him and asked him, I said, what time's church Sunday? So I'd met him here at Hillside, and I come in and I was amazed by the sanctuary, because I was used to the stereotypical wooden pews, the wooden podium up front, and all the signs with the numbers, and the choir standing up there, that's takes a bit to get used to listening to. But this was different. The lights, the way the sanctuary was set up, it was just like, man, this is awesome. I can get used to this. And since then, shortly, it took me a while to get into it. And then once I did get into it, I went full bore. I went all in at the church. And they got in guest services. When I got baptized, it was the greatest day of my life. I found that, when you give your life to the Lord, nothing but good and pleasure comes from it. And my whole life has changed, and it's just been tremendous how much difference there is in my life. My attitude, the way I treat people, the way people react to me, the way I feel about people, I have a lot of empathy and desire just to help others, and it's awesome. And my relationship with James and my other children has grown immensely. So there's nothing else, it's all the Lord, because I should have been dead. There's no doubt about it. Everything I went through, I should have died, but I didn't. So I'm grateful that I'm here and I found the Lord, and He's taking care of me today.
This whole journey's been a trip for me. Dad mentioned this Bible that he sent me when I was in jail, and although it's a beautiful Bible and it's very informative with study notes, it was what he wrote in it that really kind of gave me what I needed to really push myself and know that this is what direction I needed to go for in my life. It says, James, let this Bible find you with all our love. May you be blessed with a new and better way to fulfill all your dreams. Love you, son, Dad. I received this Bible in 2014, and I've had it, since then. I use it every day, and it's really been a hope for me. Like Dad said, when I got out of prison, I really tried to let everybody around me, especially my family who weren't Christians, I tried to let them see, what had changed in my life. And because they've all heard me say, hey, it's going to be different this time, hey, I've changed, and then they watched me fall right back on my face. And but it was, with everything Dad went through medically, it was really important for me to allow him to see a change in my life. I never preached at my dad, but I took every opportunity to share how God was working in his life. A great example was when he had a catheter put in his heart. I explained to him that when Jesus in the Beatitudes, he says, blessed is the pure in heart. In the original language, he used the word katharsos, which is where we get the word catheter. What a catheter does, it goes in your heart valve and opens it up to flush out impurities. And that's what Jesus meant. And I just really needed Dad to see how God was working in his life without aggravating him or aggravating his wife. And then when he called me, I was at a tractor pull in Meade County, and he called me to ask me when church started. I just assumed it was so I could go over to his house afterwards and help him. And it took me a while to let the shock set in that he said he wanted to start going back to church. And then he confessed he hadn't been at a church, inside of a church, at a service since around the 60s or 70s. And so that's a long time. And I knew that Hillside was so welcoming to me and my wife and my children. The first thing I did was walked up to one of the eldest people here at the church and told them that I just got out of prison, and kind of explained that my wife and I were looking for a church. And Miss Phyllis said, I don't know about all that other stuff, but you all are certainly welcome here. And as we were leaving, a lot of heard my story. We asked God for a sign, and of course the sign out front says, you belong here. And so I wanted to share that with my dad. I wanted to make sure in his loss and his grief that he was going through, that he knew that he would be welcomed by God. And I didn't want him to feel overwhelmed. And I would say the greatest culmination of my walk with Christ is watching my dad get baptized, seeing him partake in guest services, getting to see him read out loud from the Bible for the first time, pray in front of people for the first time, and genuinely learn to start using the love of God for others. And it's just been a great blessing to have him here with me. Dad was one of those things. I get excited to see him here. I get excited to see his influence on the people at church. I constantly have people telling me how great he is to have around, how he's made so many great friends here. And it just lets me know that although I'm not a preacher and I'm not good at preaching the gospel, but I can walk it out. I can show people what God's done in my life. And hopefully, like my dad, will see the way I used to be, and can use that to say, hey, if God can change somebody like James, imagine what he can do for me. And I'm absolutely grateful to be here. I'm grateful for every opportunity that we have here. And there's just nothing greater than being able to come in here every Sunday with my dad and share the love of God with my dad and my family. And it's actually gave me a lot of hope that maybe this could be a cornerstone that brings my sisters in, that maybe one day brings my mother in, and the rest of our family. Hopefully, now that we're a team, we stand a little bit stronger on that front, and we can be an influence to them too. So I'm so grateful for everything that's been given to me here, and I'm grateful to see what the future holds.
God is good
all the time.